Hi there, I'm Chris Rachel Oslin with the Austin Post. We're here at the Capital Factory talking to our own homegrown startups, and today we're talking to Kristen from Cubit. So tell people a little bit about what Cubit actually does.
So at Cubit, we sell demographic data to small businesses who need it for their business plan or for marketing purposes.
What does that actually mean in real life, though?
Yeah, so let's say you're a mom and pop bakery and you need to know where to locate your business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can help you pull demographic and real estate data to figure out where exactly you should locate your business that meets the needs of your target market. Or let's say you want to post flyers around town. Well, we can help you figure out which zip codes you should post flyers in that people make a certain amount of income and their houses are so old and that kind of thing.
So you're based here in Austin. Have you actually gone national yet?
We have. In fact, we have customers all over the United States.
So the data landscape is changing a lot, and people don't necessarily know what to do with that data. There's so much of it out there, but getting it to people in a functional way that makes sense, that they can actually use, is pretty difficult. How would you say that that's changing right now, and what are you guys doing as part of that?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. One really interesting fact about our company is 90% of the data we sell is from the government.
Really?
But the data that's out there, it's so difficult for the average person to consume and use and pull and know what's available out there. It's a big problem. So I do think that the landscape's changing, and while there are better web apps to help people consume it, the thing is there's so much more data, right? So now the census, rather than just putting out one product every 10 years, they're putting out 5 and 6 products every year.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, so it's actually, as an industry, it's getting more complicated as we have better tools to help people get to the data.
What actually inspired you guys to start this company?
Yeah, so I used to work in environmental engineering, and we had to pull demographic data whenever we would do a new infrastructure project, right? So if you're going to build a new road, you want to see who is going to be displaced and who's going to be negatively impacted by that road. That way you're not displacing impoverished people or people of color at a bigger percentage than you would the other groups. So it used to take me 40 hours of routine head banging against the wall data pulling to get all the data I needed for an infrastructure project. It's like, that's crazy. Like, so the data's there, we have the technology, we just need an easy way to access that technology. And that's our very first app that you'll see later on, was built for environmental engineers doing infrastructure projects.
But now you've expanded beyond environmental engineers and use mom and pop shops.
Absolutely. That was really surprising. We didn't intend to, but when we were doing an analysis of our 2012 sales, we noticed that we actually now sell more to these small businesses than we do the environmental engineers.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the next step for our company is to create products and services specifically for these small businesses, and we're trying to kind of move away from that environmental engineering market, which was, what we started selling to our first 3 years, and get more towards those small businesses.
What's the least expected feature that you're like, oh man, we completely can't live without that?
The least expected feature is a canned PDF report.
Really?
So, yeah, so like basic demographic 101 information about the city of Austin or about Travis County. I was really surprised. I thought, there's all these websites and they have demographic data out there, but that information is not trustworthy. It's probably not current.
Yeah.
And so people want
You mean you
to
can't
know.
just go to Wikipedia and learn all this?
Right.
I'm shocked. How did I tell you?
So yeah, that was surprising.
If your company, with founding it, had a blooper reel, what would the highlight of that blooper reel be?
The highlight of a blooper reel would be the very first sale that we ever had as a company. So this was back in 2009 when we were selling these canned reports, kind of similar to what we did today. And the very first person, they swiped their credit card, they paid for their report. It was about $250 back then. And we triple charged that customer.
Oh no.
An hour later, we had somebody else do the same thing, and we double charged that customer. So these are very first customers, and we're charging them like 3 times.
How did you take care of that?
Oh, we called them and we, apologized profusely, and Anthony, my co-founder, was in the back end, trying to delete and refund and figure out what was wrong in case somebody else was trying to swipe their credit card. So, but at the same time, you had all this excitement about, oh my gosh, it's our first sale.
Yeah.
Oh crap, what are we doing? We messed up big time. So yeah, that would be the highlight.
So Anthony's going to demo it for us so you can see what it's like. So show me what you do.
Okay, well this is the Cubit app we have at cubitplanning.com, and what we do here is we let people pull up demographic data for a very specific area.
Give us a demonstration of how that works.
So we're going to do one here in Austin. What I'm going to do here is I have a polygon that I just drew here on the map, and I can adjust it or do whatever I need to do, so I can say exactly what I want.
The rhombus of tech.
Right, and it's going to pull back. We pulled census tracts here. We pulled 2 census tracts here in downtown Austin, and from these tracts, we're going to pull lots of data. We're going to pull race data, population data, sex and age data,
So
breakdowns.
everything you would need if you were a small company wanting to know.
A lot of stuff. What does this
Yeah.
area look like? Where are people living? What are they making there? How many households there? What industries are they working in?
And have you got graphs and things like that to go with it?
In here, not yet. Not yet.
Because I know people like a lot of visual data interpretation for them.
Yeah, some people do. We let people download the data in like a Word document or a CSV, so
Okay.
they can grab and play with the data, which is something they really, really like to do. Once they get in there, hey, let me do some calculations on this stuff.
And do you have any of this affordable enough that, for example, like if a food truck was going, where would be the best part of town for me to move?
Absolutely. This starts at $20 a month.
Oh, wow, yeah. So even a food truck
Yeah.
could afford something.
Yeah, $20 a month, and then you start drawing your areas and say, I want to try this area over here, or I want to try that area over there, and they can do this anywhere in the United States.
Great. Thank you very
Okay.